By CDL Electric. Glad to have you with us wherever you are. Good crowd in person here tonight. One thing on Mondays throughout the school year, the Vital Signs Trivia Contest for the Gorilla Nation Mobile Fan Club. And if you are a member of this, you will get a trivia question texted to you each Monday night throughout the school year. There's also player of the game voting in football and basketball. But the trivia contest goes out via the text. You get a multiple choice ballot. Text in your answer. If there's more than one correct answer, there are people or a way to figure that out and pick out a random winner. But trivia contest tonight for the fan club. Who kicked the game-winning 44-yard field goal with 6 seconds to play to beat for Pitt State to beat Missouri Western 31-28 in 1992? That was a big kick as the Gorillas would end up that season, of course, back in the national championship game. And the options are Josh Barkas, James Jenkins, or Jeff Wood. And we'll give you the winner a little bit later. Dan Wilkes will let us know who won, and we'll tell you the answer. Nothing you call in for. Again, a member of the Gorilla Nation Mobile Fan Club texting service, and to be a member of that, you text the word Gorilla Fan, all one word, to 66937. You get a text confirmation text in return, and then go from there. More information on the website, PittStateGorillas.com. Talking about the PSU offense is headed up to Mo Western on Thursday, and Coach, wide receivers, that's an area I think been upgraded that will help your passing game along. You look at who you've added there, Andrew Castaneda and John Brown, are transfer guys, another year of experience for guys like Levi Kunch and Gavin Lutma. I know Gavin coming off knee surgery, but as a whole, John Thomas back. So that depth there seems to be very good, and some playmakers added for you.
Yeah, there's no question. We're, athletically, we're much better than we were a year ago, and we've got a lot of the guys back, but we've also added John Brown and Andrew, and they're definitely quality receivers that'll definitely help us out. And along with them, Luke Rampy has done a tremendous job. He's really hard to cover and very similar to John Thomas, a little bit different body type, but understands the game very well and knows where to go. And then Bradley Argabright's a freshman that we redshirted that's playing football and basketball, and he's kind of in the mix as well. So got a good group there that we feel really good about. We're going to have to be smart on how we substitute them and get them in the right positions, and sometimes that's a lot tougher than you think it is, but we need to keep them fresh because we've got good depth there, and keep them running in and out.
Yeah, I look at Castaneda, Brown, Kunch, Lutman, Sawyer, Thomas, Rampy, Argabright, Fisher. There's some guys on there that sometimes they're just going to get left at home.
Well, there's always, that's part of the thing. You have to worry about when you travel. It's what else can they do? Can they help us on special teams? Those type of things. We will play some 4 receivers at times. So because of that, you have to have some depth there. And I think with the addition of these 2 guys too, it's going to help us in our special teams and in our return teams.
And you look at John Brown as a guy that came in. He was maybe here in the spring, didn't go through spring ball. Kid from South Florida, 1 year at Mars Hill, redshirted at Coffeyville. Not real big, seems to be extremely quick-footed, maybe fast that can stretch the field. But boy, when I've seen sure-handed, tucks that ball, and hard to put too much on him, I guess, because he's new here. But what kind of player does he remind you of anybody you've had?
Well, he wasn't here with us in the spring, so he didn't come here until the summer. And the kids talked a lot about him. He's a really hard worker, and he's extremely fast. He does well with his routes and understands the game, and does have really good hands. So he's been a really nice addition and a really fun kid to be around. Great personality, and he loves the game, and so he will definitely be a guy that he's one of those guys we've got to find a way to get him the ball.
You look at Andrew Castaneda added into the mix and was here and had a good spring game. 6'2", 205. Is he a combination of size and speed guy?
Yeah, he really is. He's a guy that can go vertical and can go deep. He's strong enough. Great looking athlete that he can lock on you and block you, and does that really well. And still a threat to catch the short ball and go deep, and he can also go deep and catch the long ball. So it's nice to have another bigger guy that has brings a physical presence to the game, that he can be in there, combination block and receiver, and we feel good about Andrew.
Another guy that, boy, looks about as good as anybody in the pads is Aaron Sawyer, and a pretty good sophomore year, big average per catch. hurt at the end of his sophomore year, and last year clearly was not the same. Is he healthy this year? He seems to have looked pretty good to me in the fall camp.
Yeah, Aaron works extremely hard. He's been such a great presence in the weight room in the off season and done a tremendous job. He was voted as team captain by the players, and hasn't had a great fall camp, but yet he's a senior that understands the system, and he's another guy that, again, we have to find a way to get him in the mix.
How many of those guys, or whether it be backs or D-backs, factor into the return game for you?
Well, last year when we just didn't have as many return guys to help us out, and when John Thomas, got hurt and had to miss a few games, we were really scrambling on what to do, and now we line up kick returns, punt returns, kick returns. We've got 6 or 8 guys that can do that now that we feel good about. It's something you can't practice live full speed very much. We have just a couple of times because you don't want to take a chance of getting somebody hurt, but feel a lot better about the group of guys that we have to pick from there.
And if you want to throw kickers in on the offensive side of the ball, Jake Craig, good experience a year ago. I think missed 5 extra points. Started 2 for 9 field goals. He made his last 5, including a couple of real big ones in cold weather in that bowl game for you. How's Jake been? Had off-season surgery as well.
Jake's, he's not fully recovered, I don't believe, from his surgery, but has done a really good job of punting in camp, and that was a question mark going in for us after losing Jared Witter, who was an All-American for us. We had a big question there, and Anthony Abanoa punted some for us in the spring, but Jake didn't, and so he is able to come back, and that motion doesn't bother him at all. So he's been doing a good job punting. We're not 100% sure on PATs and field goals if we'll go with Jake yet, and that's probably determined today or tomorrow or the next day between him and Chase McCoy.
Well, yeah, you go right down to it with some of those battles. On the offensive side of the ball, that said, I'm guessing receivers one of them, but what are some positions where you've had the most competition?
Well, at receivers would be the number one thing, and then, offensive line-wise, I think that offensive line is probably the position on your whole football team at this level where you're never as deep as you'd like to be. You're just never as deep there. Losing Josiah Cody before camp, that hurt us a little bit, but so we've had to move some people around. So there's a lot of competition there, and we've got a lot of young players there that are going to be good players. They just don't have the experience yet. So competition-wise, I'd say offensive line probably, would be the position, and tight end are those 2 positions probably where we've had the most competition. On
that O-line, there are a couple of guys that played more than one position last year. Not, I guess ideally you want every guy to play the same position every game and stay healthy, but can that be valuable that they have that experience in being versatile? Yeah, there's no question. If they've got, they have the ability to play guard and tackle or even flip-flop, or even you've got a guard that's a backup center, it just gives you that much more flexibility. So, we've had to bounce a couple people around there, and, we're going to – Aaron Colich, even though we lost Chestnut at center, Aaron Colich did play quite a bit last year at a couple of different positions for us, played guard and some center, and Aaron will start at center, and he's a captain, and so he'll be the leader of that group. And then tight ends, you mentioned that. That's a big part of the O-line, and you've had so many good players there over the years. It's a tremendously important position in what you do. Briston Kelly's back, an experienced guy. You have a couple of redshirt freshmen. You have a junior college transfer you brought in, Connor Combs. So tight end-wise, how's it been for you in the preseason? Again, I think Briston transferring from Northern Illinois and playing basketball there, I think it's just taken him some time. And I think he has a better understanding now of what we wanted a year ago. I have expectations of him having a good season. And, he's such a physical presence, being 6'7", 260 pounds. And he's got to play well for us. And that will be a big key for us offensively is how he can do. And then, a guy that's been here a while, Chance Riley, has been here a while, and then Connor Combs and Brady Letchworth, and then we added Mandel Dixon, who's a kind of a dual guy, tight end, H-back position type player. You look at that position and feel you've upgraded on the edge at receiver. You have that good versatility in the backfield. You seem to have had a knack, obviously, to mix in those tight end seam passes and that. what can that do for that position, given the upgrade at receiver and the number of weapons, and maybe it draws double coverage elsewhere?
Well, you'd like to think with our receivers that we could spread people out a little bit better, maybe get an extra guy out of the box, and that's the whole key. You know, what are they going to bring a safety from where to try to load the box up on you when you get spread out? And so, you know, we've been able to spread people out before, but it hasn't been that scary if you don't have somebody that has a chance to go the distance out there. So, you know, if we can get people spread out a little bit better and unload the box a little bit and be efficient and effective in our run game, then that will just make us that much better.
When you talk about the offense going into a season opener, you know, you want to score every time you get it and whatever, establish field position. But what do you think are the most important things in an opener that you maybe you feel like you have, or maybe you don't feel like you have the whole playbook? What are the most important things for the offense in a first game?
Number one, most important thing, taking care of the football. You know, we can't go out there and turn the ball over a bunch of times, and you know, we put the ball on the ground way too much last year in the opening game. So we're not going to be conservative, but on the other hand, when we break out in the open, we got to understand that sooner or later you're going to get somebody kind of run up behind you and try to strip you to do whatever. And so the number one thing is we've got to take care of the football. Take care of the football. We're going to be good defensively. Take care of the football. Number one, you know, go get first downs. Play one play at a time. And if you know, punting's not a crime. If we have to punt the football, we'll punt it. But we got to take care of the ball. Number one.
Very good. We'll take another break with Coach Beck. When we come back, we'll talk about that defensive side of the ball, heading into that opener on Thursday at St. Joe. That and more still to come. Stay with us.